Hello guys, my name is Mona. I'm a photographer, and today I'm going to be giving my opinion on the Sepia Bride discourse. So I do a lot of different genres of photography. I do portraiture, I've tried out concert photography, I dabbled in wedding photography, so I feel like I have some insight on both sides of the argument, the bride side and also the photographer side. So the discourse started on TikTok when a bride had basically told a story about how she had hired a wedding photographer. She didn't love how her photos turned out. Her and the photographer did this whole back and forth, and her TikTok went really viral and everyone's giving their opinion on it. So I'm going to watch the TikTok and then stitch it on the screen so you guys can see. This is my first time actually watching the whole TikTok series throughout. So, and she's still going. She's still posting videos about it. Okay, guys, I found the original video right here. So we are going to play it. Let me turn the volume all the way up.
Imagine paying almost $8,000 for a wedding photographer, and when you raised your concerns, they threatened to sue you for slander if you spoke your truth. So let's get into a little story time. So I found my wedding photographer on Instagram, like a majority of people in this day and age do. Her feed looked so bright, airy, but also had this goldenness to it, and I loved that.
Here, I want to say that I also looked at the photographer's portfolio and her Instagram, and I think that she has really beautiful work. And I don't want to... Okay, I'm going to start off by saying that the photographer uses a pretty, golden tone to all her photographs. Her work is pretty consistent. Her editing is pretty consistent. Some people have a style and then other people don't. I would say I fall into the category of I don't have a signature edit style. I just kind of shoot things and edit them true to color. So my initial thought was you knew what her work looked like. So if you didn't like her work, why would you book her and not someone else who had an editing style that you prefer? But I'm going to hear her out and I'm going to watch the rest of the video.
I loved that. But the goldenness that it had still captured the beauty of colors, blue, your skin tone, etc. You can see this is one of the photos from our welcome dinner party.
Ooh, this photo is very pretty.
Party the night before our wedding, and it's a gorgeous photo, right? So this is when shit gets a little crazier. Our wedding day was overcast. Nothing you can really do about that. However, a photographer should know how to shoot in an overcast situation. So she delivered the photos, and of course, right away, I'm like, oh my God, I love them. I love every single one of them. I'm beaming of excitement. And then for about 30 days, I'm staring at the photos and I'm like, why is there something bothering me? I couldn't put my finger on it. Until I realized I'm a makeup artist, okay? I was a makeup artist in the wedding industry for years. And I did my own makeup for my wedding. And I'm staring at the solo pictures of me and I'm like, I kind of look really...
Okay, first red flag to me. You love the photos at first, and then after 30 days, 30 days, you decided you didn't like them anymore. And you're saying because of the way your makeup looked. But if you're a makeup artist, which I'm not doubting she is, why wouldn't you catch on sooner than 30 days that the reason why you don't like the photos is because you didn't like the way your makeup looked? So that just doesn't make sense to me. Had she voiced her opinion in the beginning, not even right away, within that first week, I would have been like, okay, but already her story seems a little sketchy to me.
Really pale and my makeup isn't showing at all. My hair has these red highlights in it and I look extremely dull. So I raised my concerns to her and she goes, okay, I charge X, Y, and Z extra to edit photos. I'll edit them to enhance your makeup and whatever. Great. So what I'm about to show you, the top photo she edited to enhance my makeup. The bottom photo was me in real life.
Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I could see why she's upset because one, I feel like her makeup in real life looks really pretty, and then the one up top that the photographer edited, it just kind of makes her look like she has a bad spray tan. It's too contrasty, but I feel like this is her personal editing style. Do I like it? No. And you don't have to like it, but I feel like if you knew her work to look like this and you don't like it, why would you book her? Especially for something as big as your wedding day.
That was my makeup shot on just an iPhone picture. What did she put on my lipstick? What blush am I wearing? What is on my eyes, my skin, everything. So then I raised the concerns to her and she so kindly said, you know what? I don't think we're gonna come to an agreement. So let me send you some of the raws of that moment. So
she shouldn't have done that. She shouldn't have. I feel like that opened up the can of worms. From the bride story, I don't think she ever asked for the raws. Initially, the wedding photographer offered them. And I feel like when you offer someone raws as a photographer, at that point you're probably so tired of them. So there probably was a lot of back and forth. And then she probably just threw her hands up and was like, okay, here, have the raws. But I feel like that wasn't the best decision.
So when she sent me the raws, I noticed something. This is the photo that she sent me that I look like I have a black...
I actually really like the original photo. I really prefer, let me go back a little bit.
Notice something.
Okay, I really prefer, I don't even know if you guys will be able to see, the raw photo that she got as opposed to the photo that the photographer edited. But I feel like the one that she edited, the more yellow toned one, isn't necessarily bad because photography is art and art isn't objectively good or bad. It's all subjective. Do I prefer the raw one? Yes. But do I still agree with the bride? Not fully, because if you knew that she has this yellow tone and you don't like that tone, why book her? And I think the photographer, when I looked on her portfolio, a lot of the work that she shows was like golden hour when the sun is out, and the bride did say that it was overcast this day. So I don't think that the photographer's vibe of editing necessarily fits an overcast scenario. So I will give the bride that, like, once you see that, okay, it's overcast, this probably isn't going to complement my editing style, then that's when you should adjust. And yeah, she probably shouldn't have used the same presets for her wedding just because the sun's not out, it's not going to complement it as much. But then again, you can't really tell someone how to edit their photos, so.
This is the photo that she sent me that I look like I have a black eye in. And this was the raw that I edited to have a brighter, more natural feel. And also I went into my eyes to make them brighter. Then I noticed this photo. This is what she sent me and this is how I edited it. Like, you could see the difference, right? Like,
I wonder, since she was able to actually open the raw and then do the editing, and I think she's saying she had photoshopped something, it seems like she has a background in photography, which I wonder if that is contributing to why she feels the way she feels.
the coloring, everything. To me, this is a better edit. So that brought me to look in even further to every single photo and dissect everything. I then came to the conclusion that I need to reach out to her and tell her that some of the edits felt like they were a preset that was copy pasted and I wasn't happy whatsoever.
Okay, so I do agree with the bride's take. I do think that this photographer uses presets. A lot of wedding photographers do because you're editing and delivering hundreds of photos, so it's not it's not really manually possible to sit there and edit like 500 plus photos, especially when the bride and groom want them pretty quickly. I don't think there's anything wrong with having presets. I don't really use them, but I think you should have a preset and then still modify each picture. Like, you shouldn't just slap the preset on and then go. You should still check each one. And I don't think the bride is wrong for saying that she doesn't like how the photographer used a preset and didn't modify it. I think that's a valid take to have.
And notice that the filter that she put made my teeth look yellow. What is that? My teeth are white.
This is not a flattering angle. Not even angle. It's not a flattering like tone on her. Like she said, it makes her teeth look yellow.
One last photo example. This is the ocean. It looks like we got married.
I love wedding photography. I really enjoy this. I don't even think the photographer at hand, I'm not going to say her name because I don't want this to turn into like something else, but I think she's actually really talented. I really like her work. I just think I think this is like an isolated incident, but I don't think she's a bad photographer by any means.
Is the ocean. It looks like we got married in Seattle. What is that?
And also she has to, she as in the bride has to keep in mind that, at least with this critique, like, you can't control the weather, unfortunately, so she can't really control, the photographer can't control if the photos look like they were shot in Seattle. You can mimic light, obviously, with like flash and stuff, but you can't really mimic sunlight outdoors. Like, that's kind of not possible.
But again, it's a beautiful photo, you know? I'm not discrediting her ability to capture a moment, because that's what she's really good at.
That's fair.
It's a post-edit that I was unhappy about. If you want to hear what happened in the rest of the story, like part 2. Imagine.
Okay, so I'm going to search for part 2. I'll be right back. Okay, so I found part 2. Here we go.
My wedding photographer threatening to sue me for slander. Let's go. So I decided to call my photographer after I wasn't happy with all of the edits that were sent to me, especially because it looked lazy and it was just a copy paste preset on every single one of them. I'm gonna show you a little video on just the moment versus the photo, just so you see it further.
And side note, I wouldn't say using a preset is necessarily lazy. As I said before, you can just slap it on and go. You have to at least make sure that it matches the scene of the photo, because not every preset looks good with every photo.
So good. Where's this
photo shoot?
The photo. We look like
When I can kind of see the bride's point a little bit, because while it was overcast, the like real-time videos don't look that gloomy to me. So it does look like the photographer really bumped up the more yellowy, orangey tones, which, I mean, I feel like I keep repeating the same thing, but you didn't know that when you were looking through her Instagram? Like,
we look like we're in the Rainforest Cafe. What's in the moment? Yeah. Makeup,
Wow.
skin, everything. I look like I'm a Simpsons character. So I text her, I said, hey, can you call me? She's like, I'm available at this time. We speak on the phone.
This is kind of giving me PTSD. Like, I haven't had a wedding client that this happened to, but like, I'm getting like
about crying on the phone at this point, saying, I'm so unhappy. I need to make my money.
And also, I wonder, like, within this 30 days, what switched? Because she was really happy at first with the photos. And then after a whole month, she's not, to the point where she's crying and she doesn't like them. Like, I wonder within that 30 days, did she get all the photos? And then 30 days later, she was like, I don't like them? Or did she get, like, a sneak peek? And those she liked. And then over time, as she got more, she was like, I don't like these.
Wedding day, you're holding the photos hostage from us, basically? Like, what are you going to do with our wedding photos?
When she said, you're holding our photos hostage, they don't belong to you. They actually belong to the photographer. A lot of people don't realize in the US, copyright law states that the photographer owns the intellectual property and owns the actual photographs. Just because you're photographed by someone else doesn't mean you now own the photos because you're in them. No, the person who took the photo owns it. So she's not holding your photos hostage. She owns those photos. She owns the RAWs and she owns the JPEGs or the final edits. So, gosh, this is like giving me.
We even offered to pay her $1,000.
And $1,000 for the RAWs, yeah, I don't see any photographer parting with their RAW images for only $1,000, especially as many images as they were probably asking for, given that it's their wedding. She probably took, she took a lot of photos.
She then says it's going to be $4,000 for all the RAW images. Okay, I understand that RAWs are never really given out for weddings and wedding photographers, but if I...
Really for any type of photography, wedding, just regular events, editorial, sports, like, photographers just don't give out RAWs, and I feel like the sooner people accept that, the less, like, issues that both the photographers and the clients will have. Like, you can pay for extra edits, but I don't know anyone who's just going to give you a bunch of RAW photos, and where would you even keep them? How would you open them? Like, no.
I was a wedding photographer, and my bride, the one day that she's meant to get married, the one day, and you're not going to make sure that she's happy? What photos aren't you happy with? Can we select 20 of them? Can we just give you the RAWs of 20 of them? It will be 5.
I agree to a certain extent. I would have, if I was the photographer, I think I would have tried to sit down with her. If you're not in the same city, then FaceTime and ask her, okay, what specifically is wrong? Why aren't you happy? Because it's your job to make sure that your client is happy with their photos. They paid a lot for them. Like I said, this is her wedding day. So I would have come up with a compromise.
$500. What I was willing to work on something like that with her, slams it down, tells me it's $4,000. Too bad, so sorry. You hired me. You knew what you were getting into.
Which you did. You did hire her. You didn't know what you're getting into. I wonder if the photographer was actually being as, like, kind of cutthroat as she's describing. Because I watched her in an interview, and she seemed to have a really more sweet and soft-spoken demeanor, so I don't know. There's 3 sides to every story. Okay, so I have her as in the wedding photographer, I have her page pulled up. This side note is one of, I think, my favorite picture on her page. This is very beautiful. We're just going to scroll through her feed. Like, this is very... Well, this one's beautiful. I really like that one. There's a comment under one of her TikToks that I feel like sums up my point of view. It says, "It's like ordering a red shirt and upon receiving it, being mad that it's not blue." Bingo. You want one thing. You want true to color photography. Great. Then you hire a photographer who does not shoot true to color, and you're mad that she didn't shoot true to color. Okay, so my final thoughts are, I'm on the side of the photographer, just because I feel like she was transparent from the jump. Through her work, through her marketing, you know what her work looks like, so if you don't like it, don't book it. And then also, I feel like the photographer was trying to accommodate her, but you can't say you like the photos, everything's fine, then a month later double back, and then make all these demands, want the raw photos, like everything, it's just too much. You can voice your concerns, I just think the way the bride did it wasn't the best way. And then also the way she's going about it on social media, her TikTok, she's kind of in a way taunting or bullying the photographer, in my opinion. Like there's TikToks upon TikToks. Like this lady has, let me find it. Her video is down here. The one that's in black that says just watched. All these videos she's made about the topic. Like, is that not a little crazy? After literally all these TikToks that you've made about this lady, slandering her name, slandering her business, and in my opinion, she wasn't doing bad business. I will say she could have had more grace. Do I think the photographer was necessarily in the wrong? No, because we have to stop badgering. We have to stop, one, hiring service providers who we don't like their work, and then badgering them when they deliver us with a product when we knew what we were getting ourselves into. I wish the photographer well. I wish the bride well. Yeah, those are my thoughts on it. That's pretty much it. You guys can like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. I'll have all my socials up here, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.